Dear student, I am Kiran Bharadia, TGT Social Science, Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalaya, Kundeswar, Tikamgarh, MP. Here I present e-content for class 6, subject Social Science, history chapter, second chapter on the trial of earliest people. So here our topic is on the trial of earliest people. So in this chapter we will discuss about on these subtopics, and these subtopics are: why were they on the move? Second, we will discuss on about making stone tools. Third subtopics are finding about fire. Next, our changing environment. After that, we will discuss on agriculture resolution. Our next subtopic is division of human historical time. In this subtopic, we see about the division of our Indian history time, that is Paleolithic, Mesolithic and Neolithic. And lastly, in elsewhere, we see about the rock painting of France. So in this picture, you see, student, this is the gradually development of our earliest people. How they first, what they hunter gatherers, and after they how discovered fire, and you see in this picture agriculture. So this picture shows the gradual development of earliest human. So in this chapter we will discuss, we learn about this. So student, our first topic is why we are on the move. As we know about prehistoric earliest man who lived in the subcontinent as early as 2 million years ago, and today we describe them as hunter-gatherers. And generally, hunter-gatherers hunted wild animals, whatever they found in the forest, like bison, buffalo, reindeer, wild goats, they hunted. After that, they also caught fishes and birds. Beside huntings, they all gathers everything they found in the forest, like fruits, roots, nuts, seeds, stalks, eggs, whatever they found in the forest. But student, this is not so easy for hunter gatherers, because as you know, most of the animals are very strong, very powerful from us. So hunting these animals are not so easy for earliest man. But and hunting these animals and caught fishes and birds, they had some necessity skills, like they have to become robust. Robust mean earliest man need to powerful and strong and healthy. Besides this, alertness and chillness and presence of mind, these type of skills which enable them to catch fast running and dangerous wild animals. Besides this, they had also the knowledge about the vast amount property of the forest, and which type of fruits are not poisonous, which are poisonous. So they had also knowledge about this type of forest products. So they chosen which are eatable and which are not eatable. After that, hunter food gatherers also know about the seasons, how seasons changes. So they observe, because seasons, after changing seasons, something all are change, fruits, plants, vegetation. So they had also knew about the seasons changes. So in this picture you clear show you the how earliest people have so many skills they have in this picture, their alertness, their chillness, their presence of mind. So in this picture it can clarifies you. Our next topic is, next is the earliest man. And the earliest man always move from one place to another place, and there are 4 main reasons for their movement. So let's we discuss about the reasons why the earliest man move one place to another place. The first reason is that in the search of food. Because what happened that if if they had stayed at one place for a long time, they would have eaten up above all the available plants and animal resources. Therefore, they would have to go elsewhere in search of food. So this is the first reason for search of food. They moved one place to another place. Second reason is for that they followed the animals, because animals also moved from place to place, either in search of prey, a smaller prey, or in the case of deer and wild cattle, they in search of grass and leaves. So the animals they move one place to another for another place for this their food. So that is why those who hunted had to follow their movement. So this is the second reason. Third reason is that plants and trees grow according to season. That's why plants and trees bear fruits in different season. So people may move from season to season to in search of different type of seasonal fruits and plant. After that, the fourth reason is in search of water. So people you know that every living beings needs water, because they can't survive without water. So hunter food gatherers earliest men always tried to find the place near the water. So and they always lived near their favorite places like rivers, lakes, streams, and while many lakes and rivers are perennial and some are non-perennial. So people living on their banks would have to go in search of water during the dry season. So student, here one terms come, and in this picture you better understand the region of movement of earliest men, the search of food. They follow how they followed the animals in search of seasonal fruits, plants, and trees, and after that they in search of water. So these are the four regions you see in this picture. You better understand. So I telling one thing, that is perennial, because here one terms come perennial. So here we discuss what do perennial means. So student, perennial are the source of water that flows throughout the year, and these sources of water never dries. Their water always present in their river, lakes, streams, like in our country, Ganga river, Yamuna river, Indus river, Brahmaputra river. These are the perennial river. Beside this, second type of river is that non-perennial source of water, and these type of rivers are also called seasonal, because in these rivers and lakes, water is not available throughout the year, and these rivers are periodic in nature. They always water during they generally flow during the rainy season and dried up in summer and winter. So these type of rivers like Mahanadi river, Krishna river, these are called seasonal rivers, because they had water only during season, and after that this type of rivers became dried. And in this picture you clarifies about you see two sources of river. First, that is perennial river, and second is seasonal river. So perennial rivers are those rivers that originate from the glaciers. That's why this type of river never dries, and always they had much water in their sources. But non-perennial rivers are those rivers that they dried up in the summer and during winter season. So in this picture you better understand. Next topic is our how do we know about early man. So in this about early man, archaeologists have found various type of old objects, various things that these earliest man used and left behind everywhere. And archaeologists have found various type of tools made of other bones, stones, and these types of tool used by the earliest people, and they for various type of activity like cutting bone and meat, chop fruits, they need various type of the digging roots while they want if they want to eat roots fruits like carrot and nuts. So they want this type of tools. Beside this, they also need to bark the heights of the bark the trees and hide the animal skin, because the skins of animals skin they made their clothes, and they also need to stitches their this skin cloths. So this they used stone tools of this activity. Some stool tools generally they attach to handle or bows that makes to spears and arrows for hunting. Next, choosing a place to live it. Student archaeologists were found so many places in subcontinents where they found many various type of remaining things like stone tools, cheap parts of their stone tools that were used, that is like used for their building construction. And these are the things stone tools waste material that used by the earliest man, and after they used they left behind. So this type of various places there archaeologists have found, and these places are called sites. So these types of sites were found everywhere on the earth, like some were found on the surface of the earth, its sites may be under the earth, and sometimes near under the water. These various type of sites found by the archaeologist. That you in this India map, you see in this map that Burj Home, Mehergarh, Bhimbetka, Dajli Heading, Kolhilwa, Mehergarh, Kurnool Caves, Husangi. These are various type of sites found by the archaeologist, and these are the sites. These are the sites places where it believes that earliest man lived here. And all these the various type of evidences found by the archaeologist that hunter gatherers used, and they left this type of things, stone tools. So you see in this map the hunter gatherers lived in many more places around all over the subcontinents, and many sites where you see a student located near source of water such as river and lake, that this clear in this India map. The Paleolithic sites like Bhimbetka caves near Narmada river, Kurnool caves near Kaveri, Husangu near Mahanadi, Indus river near Ganga river. These are the river places where earliest man lived, and they make various type of stone tools that they used. Next, habilitation come factory sites. So people try to find a better quality stone, because if they got better stone, the tools also made better, best. That may help them in various type of activity like hunting and food gathering. So for where better stones are found, so turn to factory site, because we archaeologists have found various type of blocks of stones, tools, vast amount of chips of waste stored in these sites. This shows the these places are factory site where these people lived here, and they make their various type of tools of stone. But people lived in this site for long, and they also lived here, and they also make stone tools. That's why this type of places are become habitation come factory site. So friend, you know that earliest people made various type of tools from stone, and the making stone tools they applied two type of techniques, methods, and these two techniques are stone and stone tool methods, and second is pressure flaking method. And in the stone and stone tool methods, you see in this picture how they applied the method. Here the pebble from the which the tool was to be made, called the cone, was held in one hand, and the another stone which was used for hammer, taken in another hand, and the second stone was used to strike off flakes from the first till the required shape was obtained that they want. So this method is called stone or stone method, and from this picture you better understand how they made and how they applied this method. Second method is pressure flaking, and as the pressure flaking method, there here they you see the picture, the core was placed on a firm surface and the hammer stone was used on a piece of board or stone that was placed on the core to remove flakes that could be saved into tools. And from this picture you can better understand, as the name implies, consists of applying pressure by means of on a pointed stick or board that you see in this picture, near the edge of a flake or blade to detach small flakes, was used mostly to put the finishing touches on tools. So that's why they apply this method, and they made various type of desirable tools they want, they need. Next is that next topic is finding about fire. And as you know, fire by the earliest man is one of the most important discovery on the earth. The controls of fire by early man was one of the first innovation, was first discovery which changed their life, and it became a revolution after the discovery of fire. So it was a turning point in the technological evolution of human beings. So early men used fire for various type of their activity, like they cooking their food for heat and light, and also they frightened the animals from the fire. So they used as a source of fire in this type of their activity. Next is changing environment. So student, major changes in the climate of the world with a shift to relatively warm conditions were noticed around 12,000 years ago. As a result, grassland developed in many regions, and this result to the herbivorous animals like deer, antelope, goat, sheep, and cattle. The number of these cattle like animals increased in very large number. So this encouraged people to herd and rearing these animals. And after that, they also engaged themselves in fishing. Several grain bearing grasses like such as wheat, barley, and rice were also grew naturally around the nature. So in the different part of the world, so men, women, and children began to collect these grains to use them as their food. By the time they also learned where these grains grow and when they ripened. So in this picture you saw about the environment, how environment change, and when the environment change, everything changes. The plants, vegetation, nature, and the people adopt new type of activity after the changing of climates. That's why 12,000 years ago, when climate change, when temperature arise, then then people started herding and rearing. Beside this, they also herd because these type of animals, because they found very grasslands for their food. That's why they kept cattle with them. Next is started of agriculture. As a student, as you know, when climate change, temperature arises, and grain bearing grasses like wheat, barley, rice, these are naturally grown in the nature in different parts of the subcontinents. So people learned about them and found them as an easy way to use them as a meal. As I already told you in the first chapter, around 8,000 years ago, near Suleiman and Kirthar hills, they started growing wheat and barley, and that's why they started to grow crops. So in this picture you better understand how people better know about the grains they collected and started to cut these grains, and they knew about them. After that, they were they know how to growing these crops, and they started such crops. But agriculture and growing crops is not also not so easy, because growing crops also requires great care, time and dedication, because in the growing period crops require much attention. That's why people have to live near the growing crops area during their growing period. That's why they had uh, gave more time on the growing crops, and they had less and less time to go for hunting and wandering from place to place. So these times there is reduces on them, and slowly. So the positive result was this: these people growing crops, making huts near their growing crops area, and that's why a new thing appeared, that was permanent settlement. Their life became changed, and they go step forward their permanent life. The next topic is names and dates. According to the timeline of human history, it was divided into three parts. First is Paleolithic age, second Mesolithic age, and third Neolithic age. And the age divided according to the stone tools, the way, the types of stone tools they use, and on the basis of this age was divided. So the first age is Paleolithic age, which are also called earliest period of history, and it around 2 billion years ago to 12,000 years ago. So in the Paleolithic age, the earliest man survived by hunting and gathering, because this was the first stage of human history, and they searched for food was their main activity. They hunted buffalo, bison, elephant, red deer, whatever they found in the surrounding their forest. And they also, after besides hunting, their main activity is gathering fruits from the vegetation, like fruits, nuts, beets, seeds, roots. This type of they gathered food from their nature. So all these for all this used, they used at that time, earliest man used big stones for their hunting and gathering food. And it is also it is very fact about that it time period covered 99% of history, because during the Paleolithic period where was nothing grow. This is because this is first period. So human being used to use simple chipped and chopped type stone tools for hunting and other purposes, as you see in this picture. Second stage is Mesolithic age, and it is around 12,000 years ago to 10,000 years ago. And in this age, stone tools found that are very small in size, called microliths. Microliths means small tools. And you see this picture, the various type of tools found from this age was small and something better from the Paleolithic age. They also used handles with their tools. That's for their the hunting activity is like easier than Paleolithic age period tools. In this picture, you see these various type of tools from the Mesolithic age tools. Here you see moose and ivory used, blade, core, knives, sisal, triangles, burin, dagger, points, and these are very beautiful stone tools. They used in various type of activities, because at that time they started to grow crops. So these types of stone tools, very helpful they in their growing crops. Next is our third part of the history was Neolithic age, and this is the last stage of the stone age. It's around from 10,000 years ago. The Neolithic stone age was also called the New Stone Age, and that is the final stage of cultural evolution or technological development among prehistoric humans. were no longer dependent on hunting, fishing, and food gathering, because this was in India it spanned, but in India it spanned from around 7000 BC to 10,000 BC. The Neolithic age is mainly characterized by development of certain agriculture and the use of tools and weapons. You see this picture of where there are very polished stone, and they also during this time stone tools were further developed and invention in the form of agriculture. So this is also called agricultural revolution. What's most important fact about this age? And this picture you saw there are different type of cereals, grains they produce, and because there are lots of grains they produce. So after that, a problem is that where it was stored. So a new thing they invented, and that was pottery, to make potter for storing the very grains. So in this picture you see the top pottery that was found by the archaeologists. There are various type of pots found at that time, which the earliest were used to store their various type of grains in these potters. So it is also a new thing invented by the earliest man. You see this picture, the Neolithic age stone tools, and you see there are very polished and beautiful tools like polished axes, blades, arrow weights, ring stone, sickle, plug, harpoon, buller, and these stones are very much useful in their agriculture process, and they used various type of activity. This their growing crops, to rearing and herding animals. Also they used these tools for their making huts. You see this picture, they are beautiful huts making by the Paleolithic age, Neolithic age period people. Topic is rock painting and ostrich. So many caves found by the archaeologists in which people lived, and they made painting. So the painting made by the earliest people in the cave are called rock painting, which is this showed wild animals with great accuracy and skills. And some of these caves are found in Madhya Pradesh and southern Uttar Pradesh. And here I told you about the very famous rock painting found in the Bhibetka cave in Madhya Pradesh, MP. So surrounded by the Vidya Ridge, Bhibetka caves lie 46 kilometers south of Bhopal. And here over 600 rock shelters belonging to the Neolithic age were discovered in the midst of the dense forest. So here painting is over in 500 caves and depicts the life of prehistoric cave dwellers making. So Bhibetka is our archaeological treasure, and that is so that in this cave many paintings are mainly in used that by earliest man was made at red and white, and occasionally they used yellow and green. The scene usually depicts hunting, dancing, music, horse and elephant riders, animals fighting, honey collection, decoration of masks and bodies. Beside this, such various type of animals also found on the cave wall. That is bison, elephant, bear, antelope, dogs, lizards, crocodile, etc. So these various type of animals also made by the earliest man, and they have been depicted in the cave. People beside this, people popular religious and other symbols. Students, do you know about ostrich? Ostrich is the largest bird of the world, and as you know, ostriches were found in now Australia and New Zealand. But it is an important fact I want to tell you that ostriches were also found in India during the Paleolithic period, because archaeologists have found various type of egg cells in partly in Maharashtra. This shows that ostriches also have found in our country during Paleolithic age. And now these axes they use in various type of purpose, like in decorating their designs were engraved on some pieces. They also made wine beads, and they used these items for their decorating purpose. Our last topic is elsewhere. Here we talk about the rock painting of France, and archaeologists have found in France there are various type of rock paintings made by the earliest man uh, during the earliest stage, and between 20,000 and 10,000 years ago. And many of these were wild animals painted with bright colors, and the bright colors they made from mineral like iron ore and charcoal. And it is possible that why they use these bright colors for animals in the rock painting, we just don't know. But maybe some they used at the time of some ceremonial occasion, or perhaps they were made for their spiritual rituals. We just don't know about this, but these paintings are very beautiful, rock painting of the France. And this shows the characteristics of the earliest people, how they think about the brightness of the nature. Everything they see the bright and fast color in the nature, even in the animals also. So this is the rock paintings related to the France. Now, thank you. I hope you better understand in the of this chapter or the trial of earliest people, and I tried my best to give various type of examples and pictures that make you better understand this chapter. Thank you.